A lot of men think that when a woman stops being faithful, it all starts with a big event. They imagine a secret meeting in a hotel room, or a hidden text message that is found by accident, or seeing another man's name pop up on her phone late at night while the house is quiet. But that is not how it usually happens in real life. The truth is much quieter than that. It is something that happens in the shadows of everyday life. It actually starts a long time before she ever goes anywhere else. It starts the very second her heart feels different toward you, and that quiet sense of peace you used to have in your home just starts to fade away like the sun going down. The part that feels so scary for a man is that she might still be calling you by your favorite nickname. She might still sit right next to you at the dinner table and eat her meal just like she always does. She might even smile and talk about the weather. She acts just normal enough that you start to think you are the one going crazy. You start to think your own gut is lying to you and that you are just being too sensitive. This is how many good men lose their way. It is not because they were not looking or because they were silly or blind. It is because they kept telling themselves that the bad feeling they had deep inside was wrong. They told themselves to ignore that tiny voice in their head. A woman does not usually just stop being loyal in a single day. It is not like a light switch being flipped. It happens in small steps, like a person walking slowly away from a house. First, she starts to pull her heart away from the relationship. Then, the way she acts begins to change in tiny ways that most men do not even see until the damage is already done. In this talk, a group of caring experts wants to show you 5 small signs that she might already be looking elsewhere. These are not the big, loud signs that everyone talks about in movies. These are the quiet changes in how she thinks and feels that show when her promise to you is starting to break behind the scenes. Once you see these things for what they really are, you will never look at those confusing moments the same way again. Before we go any further, take a quick moment to show you appreciate this talk, join our circle of friends here, and tell us which part of the world you are in. We want to see how many people this message is helping, because men all over the world are feeling this same quiet confusion in different houses and different cities. If this topic is something you are feeling right now, just say so in the notes below. Now please stay with me, because this first sign is very small, and most men actually think it is a good thing when it first happens. The first hidden sign is when she suddenly becomes a little bit too easygoing. I really need you to listen closely here, because this is where many men get tricked. Most of us think that if a woman is doing something wrong, she will act nervous or hide her phone or be mean to us. We expect her to be shaky or scared, but many women do the opposite. They act like everything is perfectly fine on purpose. At first, it might even feel like things are getting better between you. She starts telling you little things about her day that you didn't even ask to hear. She might say a man's name from her job very casually, like it is no big deal at all. She leaves her phone face down on the table and looks totally relaxed, almost as if she wants you to see how relaxed she is. She might even tell you who is texting her before you even think to ask. Because you are a kind person, your brain thinks this means she is being honest and open. But sometimes it is not honesty. Sometimes it is just a way to hide what is really happening. You see, when a woman starts moving her heart outside of the relationship, she knows the biggest danger is acting like she has a secret. So instead of acting like she is hiding something, she starts giving you tiny bits of truth. These are small, harmless truths meant to make you stop wondering. This is why some men totally miss what is happening. They think that if she were doing something wrong, she would not be talking this much. But all the while, the deep friendship and closeness between you are slowly disappearing. That is the part most men forget to look at. Real honesty makes you feel closer to each other. It feels warm. But this kind of fake honesty only makes you feel comfortable for a moment. A woman who really feels close to you will feel warm and kind, and she will care about your feelings. But a woman who is just trying to look like she is being good will sound like she has practiced her words. Her stories will sound a little too perfect and a little too clean. Have you ever noticed how some people explain things too much when nobody even asked a question? That is not always because they are innocent. Sometimes it is because they are worried and they are trying to look like they are not. She might say, "Oh, that guy from work texted me again. He is so boring." But really, she is just making sure you are used to hearing his name so you don't get suspicious later. And slowly, your gut feeling starts to go to sleep. That is why we always tell men, do not just look at how much she talks. Look at how close you actually feel. A woman can tell you more stories than ever while her heart is actually moving further away. That change matters. Maybe she tells you more about her day, but she doesn't want to hold your hand anymore. Maybe the talks seem easy, but the feeling in the room is cold. Deep down, you can feel it even if you can't prove it. This is where many men make a mistake. They stop paying attention because they think things are safe. But a fake calm is still not real love. We are not telling you to be scared or to act like a police officer. We are telling you to just notice things. Do not yell at her or go through her things. Just watch how the energy feels. Watch if her being open actually makes you feel loved or if it just keeps you from asking questions. The calmer she seems out of nowhere, the more you should watch for what is missing in her heart. And when this acting is no longer enough to hide her bad feelings, she will usually start the next step. She starts pointing the finger at you instead. The second hidden sign is when she suddenly thinks you are the one doing something wrong for no reason at all. This is a very tricky thing to do because it takes all the focus off her and puts it on you. Suddenly, she is asking you weird questions. She asks who you are talking to, why you stayed at work late, or why you seem so far away lately. And you are sitting there feeling totally lost because you haven't done anything different, but she has. This is where men get stuck because they start trying to prove they are good. They start explaining every little thing. They hand over their phones and try to make her feel better. They try so hard to protect a trust they never even broke. And the moment that happens, everything changes. Instead of watching what she is doing, you are too busy defending yourself. This is what happens when someone puts their own bad feelings onto you. Guilt is heavy. When someone is carrying a big secret, they want to get rid of that heavy feeling. Some people tell the truth, but some people just start acting like the person they are with is the one doing something bad. It is a way to look away from their own choices. While you are busy explaining yourself, she gets to relax. While you are trying to make her feel safe, she is getting more room to do what her wants. If you aren't careful, you will end up being the one saying sorry for things you never did. That is what really hurts good men. It isn't just the betrayal, it is the confusion. Confusion makes a man stop trusting his own heart. He gives up his own peace just to stop the fighting. And people who want to control things love it when you are confused. Have you ever noticed how an argument about her behavior somehow ends up being about something you did? That is not a mistake. Someone who wants to hide things knows that if they make you tired and upset, you will stop asking questions. They create a big cloud of smoke so you can't see clearly. You will also notice that her being suspicious doesn't match real life. She gets upset about things that don't matter. Sometimes she is just watching how you react because she wants to feel less guilty herself. And here is the scary part. The more loyal and good you are, the easier it is for her to do this to you. Good men hate it when people think they are bad. So they try harder. They become nicer and more helpful. But the woman doing this usually ends up having even less respect for the man while he is trying so hard. That is why you have to stay strong. Do not get all worked up every time she says something mean. Do not spend hours defending yourself when you haven't done anything. A man who stays calm can see what is happening. A man who gets upset is easy to lead around. You should remember this. When someone thinks you are doing something wrong without any proof, they might actually be telling you what they are doing themselves. Not every time, but a lot of the time. So if you have ever said sorry just to make the fighting stop, you need to know something. A peace that is built on you feeling guilty for no reason is not real peace. It is just you giving up. And once this starts happening all the time, the next thing to go is the respect. The third hidden sign is the one that hurts the most. She starts to stop respecting you in very quiet ways. It doesn't happen all at once. It is like a tiny hole in a bag that slowly lets everything spill out. At first, it seems like nothing. She might make a joke that feels a little mean. She might roll her eyes when you talk. She might sound bored when you are telling her something important. She starts to talk over you more. She stops listening to what you have to say. Your ideas start to bug her instead of being something she likes to hear. After a while, just being in the same room as you feels like a chore for her instead of something nice. This is when men start to feel very worried inside. Respect is like air for a man. When it goes away, he feels like he can't breathe. He starts trying even harder to be nice. He talks more softly and gives more gifts and says sorry even when he didn't do anything. He hopes this will make things go back to how they were. But you cannot talk someone into respecting you again. And the more a man begs for it, the faster it goes away. Let's talk about why this happens. When a woman is moving her heart away, she feels a lot of tension inside. To make herself feel better about what she is doing, her mind starts to change how she sees you. Suddenly, your small mistakes look like huge problems. Things you do that used to be okay now make her very angry. This isn't because you changed, but because she needs you to be the bad guy so she can feel okay about what she is doing. This is why some women become very mean right before they leave or while they are talking to someone else. They say things like, "You have changed," or "You make me sad," or "You are too mean." These are big, broad things that are hard to fix. That is because she doesn't want to fix them. She just wants to be further away from you. If she can make you look bad enough in her own head, she doesn't have to feel bad about her own choices. This is the secret part most men don't get. Being mean is often how someone gets ready to leave. And the sad part is that many good men respond to this by being even more helpful. They think if they love her more, she will be warm again. But you can't get someone to love you by disappearing into what they want. When a man starts acting like a servant to get a good job from her, he loses his power. Women feel that change right away. That is why we say, never chase after respect, just watch it. If someone is being mean to you over and over, they are showing you that they are already gone in their heart. Now, does this mean every time she is grumpy, she is cheating? No. People get tired and stressed. But being mean all the time without saying sorry is different. It's especially important if it's happening along with her being far away and saying you are the one doing wrong. A woman who is going to leave has to tell herself a story where you are not worth staying for. That is why the warmth goes away first. This is where men lose themselves. They get angry and desperate. But being a mess only makes things worse. Staying calm is where your power is. A man who stays steady while someone is being mean is very hard to trick. Nothing makes a person who is trying to control you more upset than when they realize they can't make you lose your cool. But once that respect is gone, your peace usually goes too. And then the relationship just feels like a lot of work. The fourth sign is when the relationship just makes you feel tired all the time. It is not because of one big fight. It is because there is a bad feeling in the air every single day. She gets mad at you faster. Tiny things that used to be fine now start a huge fight. The way you talk, or the way you sit, or the way you answer a question makes her mad. Some days it feels like you can't even take a breath without making her upset. At first, you will probably blame yourself. You think she is just tired from work or having a hard time. So you try to be very careful. You act like you are walking on thin ice just to keep her from getting mad. But that is how the trap works. You stop looking for the truth and you just start trying to survive the day. Your only goal is to not have another fight. You forget to ask why things changed. When a woman's heart is somewhere else, she feels a lot of pressure. Creating a fight is a way to let that pressure out. If she can make the relationship feel like a bad place to be, then her leaving doesn't feel like a bad thing to do. So the fights are often about nothing. A small mistake becomes a big explosion. A nice comment becomes proof that you don't love her. And the more upset you get, the easier it is for her to say that you are the problem. That is the trick. Being upset and loud makes it hard to see what is real. And when you can't see what is real, it is easy to hide things from you. Have you ever seen a relationship turn into a place where one person is always trying to make things okay, while the other person keeps making things hard? That is usually not an accident. Keeping things rocky means you never have time to ask the big questions. You're too busy asking, how can I make her happy? Instead of, why is she acting like this? Once a man gets to that point, he starts giving up his own rules just to keep her. But listen to me, peace should not be that hard to find with someone who loves you. Yes, life is hard sometimes, but if you never feel safe and your heart is always racing, something is wrong deep down. This is when you need to be strong and quiet. Do not scream back. Do not lose your mind trying to fix a storm that someone else is making on purpose. A man who loses his cool is easy to blame. Stay steady. Sometimes saying nothing at all shows more than a big argument ever could. Because when the peace is gone, the loyalty usually left a long time ago. Eventually, your body will start to know what your brain is trying to ignore. The fifth hidden sign is the one men try the hardest to push away. It is that gut feeling that something is wrong. Not because you have a picture or a secret note, but because deep in your bones, you know it doesn't feel safe anymore. This can make a man feel like he is going crazy. His brain says, I have no proof, but his heart is screaming, help! You start to notice tiny things. Her voice sounds different. She is there with you, but she is not really there. The talks are short. Even the way she is quiet feels like a stranger's silence. Most men wait until they have a big piece of proof before they believe themselves. But waiting that long can really hurt you. By the time you find the proof, the relationship has been over for months. That is why we tell men to pay attention to the patterns. You don't need to be a scientist to see when someone's heart has changed. Your body knows when the energy in the room is different. That bad feeling in your chest is not just you being worried. It is your heart seeing things before your eyes do. Women often know this. That is why they might tell you that you are just making things up. They want you to doubt yourself so they can keep doing what they are doing. So the man starts to think he is the problem. He ignores the coldness and the fights. He asks the person who is hurting him to tell him that everything is okay. That is a very hard way to live. You stop trusting yourself. You get worried, and you spend all day thinking about every text and every look. It eats you up from the inside. But real love does not make you feel like you are on a roller coaster every day. Love can be work, but real loyalty makes you feel safe. A woman who loves you will protect that feeling of safety. She won't destroy it and then tell you that you are crazy for feeling it. That is why your gut matters. Patterns of behavior tell the truth before words ever do. We are not saying you should be mean or look for problems where there are none. We are saying you should stop lying to yourself just because you don't have a smoking gun yet. Sometimes, the fact that your peace of mind is gone is all the proof you need. If you feel scared and worried next to a woman who used to make you feel calm, something has changed. This is the last lesson many men learn. You do not need her to say, I did it, to save yourself. You do not need a big fight to decide you won't let your heart be broken anymore. You don't need more proof to listen to what your soul is saying. You just need to be brave. Be brave enough to trust what you see. Be brave enough to stop asking for the truth from someone who is trying to hide it. Most importantly, protect your own heart before you lose who you are. The strongest men are not the ones who find every secret. They are the men who refuse to lose their minds trying to fix someone who doesn't want to be fixed. Most women do not just leave out of nowhere. It starts with the heart, then the respect goes, then the fighting starts, and then you feel it in your gut. These 5 signs are like a map. The fake honesty, the blaming you, the being mean, the constant fighting, and the feeling that something is just wrong. I want you to hear this clearly. A man doesn't usually break because someone lied to him. He breaks because he stopped trusting himself. He breaks because he stayed with someone who was already gone. That is the real hurt. When you stop trusting your own heart, you are easy to break. So stop asking for answers from people who want you to be confused. Stop trying to find safety in a place where your peace is disappearing. Real love doesn't make you give up on yourself. If this message helped you today, let us know by saying, I trust what I see more than what I hear. If you have a friend who is feeling lost, share this with him. Stay with our group of caring experts if you want to learn more about how people think and how to see the patterns that most people miss. A woman who really cares about you will keep your heart safe. She will never break your peace and then act like it's your fault for noticing. In the end, your peace is the most valuable thing you own. It is your home inside yourself. Do not let anyone make you feel like a guest in your own life. When you stay true to what you see and feel, you become a man who cannot be shaken. You become a man who knows his worth. And once you know your worth, you will never settle for a love that makes you feel small. Remember that you deserve a partner who is proud to be by your side, not someone who is looking for a way out while holding your hand. Keep your eyes open, keep your heart steady, and always trust the peace that lives inside you.